Porn use. Normal? Maybe. Healthy? No. I'm Dr. Trish Leigh. Let's talk about it in this video. We are going to cover three things. Number one, let's talk about how porn use and more generally hypersexuality has been normalized in our world and in society today. So basically, anywhere you look, sex and sexuality is being used to not only sell products in commercials, to gain followers on social media, or just to have this pervasive underlying tone of sexuality because it sells. Now, we're going to talk about that because that's normal, but is it healthy? Then, secondly, we'll talk about what is normal and what does normal mean to you and to me. Do we want to be normal? Then third, we're going to discuss the brain tip strategy for the day. And we're going to take you from average or subpar in your life to optimal and exceptional, because that's what we're going for in this community. Okay, so let's break it down. Number one, porn use and hypersexuality being normalized. So we know that, and I've had lots of comments from people saying, listen, lady, what are you talking about? Everybody watches porn. And, if you go on Instagram or OnlyFans, you see, girls are all over the place. It's just normal. Everybody's doing it. It's okay. Well, it might be normal, but it is not okay. And this is not from a moral standpoint. So when we get to number two in a second, I'm talking about brain performance patterns, neurological functioning in your brain. There is a healthy mode and an unhealthy mode. So if you go onto social media or TV or Netflix or adult sites to get a hit of dopamine to help your brain feel better, it is because you are using a less than optimal brain pattern. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The reason that people are involved in hypersexuality is because that is what they are looking for. They're looking for constant soothing in the brain, constant calming, constant stimulation. So if someone posts a lot of images of themselves as an objectified being, which when we talk about hypersexuality, we are talking about people objectifying themselves and then others consuming people as objects. That is an unhealthy mode, whether you be the person who is doing it or the person who is consuming it. On this channel, we focus on people who are consuming the objectification of other human beings for your seeming pleasure, soothing, pain reduction, calming, and stimulation. So, yeah, it might be normal in the world, but it is not good for the world. And more importantly, it's not good for you specifically and individually. It is just not healthy to go to sexuality in a hyper and compulsive manner to be able to regulate your mood. So if you find yourself going towards sexual content so that you can feel better, you are using it as an internalized drug, which leads us to number two. And this is the dangerous part. The dangerous part is if your brain is performing in an optimal mode and it's using lots of medium electrical energy or speed, the speed for calm focus, it doesn't need to go to anything to feel calm or stimulated because it's already perfectly calmed and stimulated. It is optimal, not normal. There is no such thing as normal. Normal means usual or average. And what normal means, usual or average, is this big section of the middle of humanity. What I want us to focus on this channel is reaching your full potential. People who reach their full potential are not average. And if you're consuming pornography, your brain is subpar or sub-average. subnormal. And I can see it in people's brain performance patterns when we engage in brain training, or if I do a brain map and look into how their brain is using energy. Subnormal, not healthy, not optimal. So if we're going for optimal or exceptional or super normal, which is what I want for you, then you have to leave pornography behind. So when your brain is performing in a sub-average way, it needs to go to the screen to get a hit of dopamine. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter that attaches the behavior that you're doing with pleasure. So in this case, when you go back to the screen and you hit the easy button, you get this flood of dopamine into your brain, and it instantaneously takes you out of the extremes of the brain performance pattern. It takes you out of hyperarousal, a brain that's anxious, it's on overdrive, it's going too much, one that's constantly thinking, ruminated, stressed out. It takes you out of that mode. It also takes you out of the mode of a brain that's using too much slow speed, the brain that's overwhelmed, it's bored, it's not focused, it's disorganized, it doesn't know what to do. It takes you out of that mode too, and it artificially puts you into this numbed out mode, bringing those two speeds down. So, the way out is through. The way out is to no longer have your brain swinging in this pendulum where it needs to go back to be calmed down and stimulated. When you get on purpose in your life, in your work, in your relationships, in your families, in your hobbies, in the things that you like to do, you glean enough dopamine plus a whole host of other neurotransmitters that not artificially, organically makes your brain feel good. And it attaches that good feeling in your brain to your life, not to escapism away from your life. So, to be able to, this is number 3, your brain tip strategy, to be able to reach the optimal brain pattern and keep it there, you need to be able to leave porn behind. Stop watching pornography. It is dumping high levels of dopamine into your brain, numbing it out, and that's the A effect. The B effect is the next day or 2 days later, your brain is overly anxious again because we have a spike in stress. We have a spike in that slow speed that makes your brain want to be calmed and stimulated again. So you're numbed out for a little while, but then you're on steroids wanting to go back for it for another hit. It keeps you in the cycle or the pendulum. So in this video, what I want you to do is think about your work. Think about one aspect of your work that you like. And when you go and do that next time, reward yourself for doing that thing that you like, because that will give you a little hit of dopamine associated with the work in your life. I want you to do the same thing in one of your relationships. It can be with your honey, it can be with your bestie, it can be with your children. The next time you spend quality time with someone in your life, I want you to reward yourself. Get yourself a latte, eat a piece of your favorite candy. Dark chocolate with sea salt and caramel is totally delicious. These are external rewards on top of the internal reward of the dopamine hit. We're going to double reward your brain for going to get the dopamine hits in your life. Do something that you love. In the next couple days, go do a hobby that you love and get a dopamine hit there. And when you get done, reward yourself again. Because we want to create the rewards, the dopamine hits from your life. Simultaneously, don't go back to the screen. Leave it behind. Let the urges pass. And when you get an urge, go towards your life. Go towards your work, go towards your relationships, and go towards your hobbies. It will absolutely help you out. Start getting the dopamine from your life. Stop getting it from the screen. Couple pleasure with your life, and you will get happiness and joy in return. Stop going to the screen and break the pattern, interrupt it. We're going to use Hebb's Law. It's the neuroscientific law that says neurons that fire together wire together. And when you fire up those neurons in your life instead of in the screen, you will have a long-term recipe for success. Okay, go rock that out. And if you're looking for support on this journey, jump on over to drtrishleigh.com. I have programs there on the Porn Brain Reboot tab that can help you in all different shapes and sizes. And remember, control your brain or it'll control you.